Okay, so we don't have any more grammar to do, so we're just going to dive right into the binder. And let's look at what you guys worked on last week. So we changed this. We had it as Roman numeral 1 as explaining to Lizbeth, but we changed it to Roman numeral 2 because it's part of the 3 body paragraphs. That part's a little confusing. So Roman numeral 2 is Barracuda. And then on the back of that was Roman numeral 3. That was supposed to be the polar bears. And then Roman numeral 4, somebody chose hawksbill sea turtles, but it's whatever the third animal was your pick. Okay. So if you look at the page that has Barracuda, remember how we listed these possible topics here? Those are the choices of the animals to research. So you have Barracuda done, right, Lisbeth? That side is done. And then did you do the polar bear one yet or not yet? Okay, so polar bear, the polar bear, if you look back on the possible topics, it's in A and C. And we have those 2 articles in our binder, A and C. So we're missing B. So that was where we looked at B. We looked at a website. I think it was National Geographic. And then we found some information to put there in B. And then you got to pick whatever the third animal is out of what's left here. So like if you pick pufferfish, you want to write about that. That's in paragraph, or that's in articles A and B from the binder, but you don't have C. So that's when you look up information for C. Okay. So how about you, Malia? Did you finish the one about Barracuda? Did you finish the outline for Barracuda yet?
I haven't gotten the chance to watch the recording yet.
Okay. Oh, so you weren't there the day we worked on the Barracuda?
Oh, I guess not.
Okay. So it's going to be kind of hard to do today's lesson because we're doing the introduction and conclusion. So it might be kind of hard to do that. But do you have any of these things written down on your paper yet or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Let's see. Um, yeah, it might be kind of hard to do that. So I think probably the best thing to do, Malia, is to get a piece of blank paper, either from the back of your binder, the big white paper, or printer paper. So go ahead and get a piece. I'll get you started on it. You can write down some of these things. And then do you know how to fold it, Malia? Okay, so go ahead and fold it, and you can at least get it set up for Roman numeral 2 here for the Barracuda. So Lizbeth, do you know what you're going to pick for your third animal? Do you know which one you want to research?
Um, Probably the quail, but I'm gonna try to do the polar bear right now.
You're going to do the polar bear right now? Okay, you could work on that while
Hmm.
she's getting her set up. But yeah, think about the third animal because you need to know in order to get the introduction and conclusion done. Okay, let me turn off my heater real quick. Okay, so do you have your paper, Malia?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you already fold it too? So go ahead and start by doing the A, B, and C at the top like that.
Can I go get a pencil real quick?
Yes. Excuse me. Okay, so you'll set up A, B, C, and you're gonna start with Roman numeral 2 because Roman numeral 1 we're saving for the introduction. So, and go ahead and write Barracuda 1 through 4, and 4 is optional. Okay, and do that for B and C, and then do the fused. We won't worry about this square yet. Let's just leave that one blank for now. Okay. Let me know, Malia, when you're done setting up A, B, C, and then the fused. Okay, got it? Okay. And then over here under C, I want you to write down possible topics. I know it's a little hard to read because we crossed out some of these, so let me zoom in here so you can kind of see it better. But you're gonna copy it just like this. So pufferfish, A, comma B, and then this one's polar bears, A, comma C, barracuda, A, B, C. So copy it just like that with those letters next to it, okay? And then let me know when you're done. You don't need to cross out anything, just make the list. Okay. So as you're writing your facts, Lisbeth, hopefully you're looking for things about the polar bear that make them poisonous, because that's the focus. Okay, good. Because we want to focus on those facts first. And then for polar bears, you don't have anything for B, so that's where you're going to have to research online. for that, you can do that part later. And you're going to type in polar bears for kids, and that'll help you have a better search. So. Which one are you writing down, Malia?
I'm almost done with the second to last one.
Oh, okay.
I finished.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm gonna have you take a break from yours for a second, Lizbeth. So for you, Malia, I want you to circle Barracuda. And then next to Barracuda, I want you to put a Roman numeral 2 because you're gonna fill in Roman numeral 2 about the Barracuda, okay? And then I want you to circle polar bears. This is for Malia. And next to polar bears, put a Roman numeral 3 like that. And then you get to pick your next animal. So which animal do you want to pick, Malia, for your third body paragraph? Pufferfish, quail, spur-winged geese, hawksbill, sea turtles, or golden poison frog? You get to pick.
I guess the pufferfish.
Okay, so circle the pufferfish. And then next to that one, I want you to put a Roman numeral 4. It's an IV like that. Okay, so those are going to be your 3 body paragraphs. Remember, when we write a 5-paragraph essay, we write from the inside out. So the first part is the inside of the essay, which is the body paragraphs. That's why it's Roman numerals 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to work on that this week. I still think you should watch the recording, if you can, Malia, soon, so you can catch up with this. But those will be your 3 body paragraphs. So now for today, we're going to work on the introduction and the conclusion. So look in your front pocket and you should have this page, which is page 171. So Elizabeth, we're going to move on to this part next here. Okay. And Elizabeth, I think I'm meeting with you tomorrow for tutoring at 2:30. Okay, so we'll make sure you get all caught up with all this stuff. Okay. Um, do you have this page, Malia? Page 171? It's all part of week 19, so hopefully you have that. Okay, so this is the conclusion. The next step after the 3 body paragraphs is to write the conclusion. That's the last paragraph of the paper. Technically, it's paragraph 5 of the paper. And so you can see Roman numeral 5 here, and it says keyword outline for conclusion. So the first thing to write is topic A and topic B and topic C. So look at the top here, it says, write a sentence or two about each topic. Try to convey the main idea of each body paragraph. Highlight or bold the topic key words. So I know that you guys haven't quite finished writing all the body paragraphs yet, but that's okay because we have to keep going in this assignment. So topic A for everybody was barracuda. So go ahead and write barracuda here. And I want you to put a box around the word barracuda. That's because in the conclusion and introduction paragraphs, the format is a little bit different. Instead of doing topic clinchers that you do like in the body paragraphs, in the first and last sentences of the body paragraphs, you're only going to highlight or bold the topics in the introduction and the conclusion. So it's a little bit different. It's not topic clincher, it's only topics, and it can be more than one sentence. So for you, you're going to highlight barracuda, and then you're going to think of 2 words to put here to give a kind of like wrap up information about the barracuda, like something that stood out to you about the barracuda. And you can either write that now or you can save that for when you're done with those paragraphs. Topic B was polar bear. So everybody wrote about polar bear here. So go ahead and put a box around polar bear, and that's 2 words, but that's okay. That's one topic. So we're going to count it as one. And we're going to think of 2 other words to put next to polar bear to kind of sum up what you learned about polar bears. Okay, so the barracuda, 2 words to kind of sum up about barracuda. Polar bear, 2 words to sum up polar bear. And then topic C, you guys pick different things. So I know that Malia was wanting to do puffer fish. So Malia, you can put puffer fish in here. And then Lizbeth, did you decide on your 3rd body paragraph?
Yeah, I chose spur-winged geese.
Spur-winged geese. Okay, good. So you can write that in, put a box around it, and then 2 more words to sum up what you learned. So you'll have to wait on that till you're done researching about spur-winged geese. Okay. So that, to give you an idea, that's the format of how you're going to do your introduction and your conclusion. This, like I said, is the conclusion part. This is the last paragraph. So if you imagine that, and then it says most significant and why. And up here, there's a little paragraph about what that means. And you did this when you guys wrote about your country. Remember, you guys wrote an introduction and conclusion. What is the most important, most interesting, or most significant thing to remember about all that you wrote and why? You may choose one of your topics like barracuda, polar bear, spur-winged geese, or pufferfish. You can pick one of those and tell why it's the most significant thing to remember. Or you may choose something that tells the importance of the entire subject. Now, the entire subject is poisonous animals. Remember, it's up here. Poisonous animals. That's the whole paper. That's what you're writing about. And then the topics are specific animals that are poisonous. So something here, you could say something like, the most significant thing to remember about these animals is they can be deadly if you eat them. And then you can explain some animals are poisonous because they eat poisonous berries. And if someone eats the animal, then they will get the poison too, or something like that. Okay, so you can be thinking about what you think is most interesting or most significant or most important, either about one of the animals or poisonous animals in general. And they give you a lot of lines here, so you can go ahead and write the sentence here. You don't have to follow the 3 words rule. So you can say something like the most, and this is where you can decide if you want to say the most significant or the most important thing or the most interesting thing about blank is blank. I'm just giving you a sentence frame here so you can fill it in. The most important or significant or interesting. Those words are up here. Important, interesting, or significant. You can decide which word you want to use here. About, and then you can put poisonous animals here, or you can put one of your topics is blank. And then you could say this is important because blank. And then you can finish up those sentences, okay? So I'm going to give you some time to think about that. I know that Malia, you have not had a chance to write your paragraphs yet, so you might have to fill this in later after you finish your other paragraphs, okay? So you haven't read about these animals yet and why they're poisonous. So yeah, you might need to wait, but I'll give, you can think about it. You can start reading about it in your articles, okay? I'm going to give you guys a minute to think about that. And Lizzie, you can write it down if you know. Got it, Lizzie?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Malia, you'll have to fill this part in later, okay? Let's turn it over to the back side of that page. Now this is the introduction. Remember how I said you're writing these 5-paragraph essays from the inside out. Inside is the body paragraphs. Okay, you're still working on that. Out is the introduction and the conclusion. We just talked about the conclusion. This side is the introduction. So this is Roman numeral 1. This is the very first paragraph that people will read in your paper. So we got to think of an intention getter. That's the very first sentence of your whole paper. So here's some ideas up here. Start your introduction with a sentence that encourages your reader to continue reading. Begin with a question, a fact or statistic, or a very short sentence. So you have some choices there on your attention getter. You can start with a question. A fact or statistic would be something you look up online. Maybe you look up how many poisonous animals are there in the world. And maybe they'll say there are 255,000 poisonous animals in the world. I'm making up a number, but you could look up a fact if you want to look up something for that. Or you can write a question or a VSS. like poisonous animals are dangerous. Poisonous animals are dangerous. That's 4 words. That would work. Something like that. Lizbeth, do you know what you want to do for your attention getter yet?
Yeah, I was thinking of putting, what is it? Most poisonous animals can be deadly if you eat them specifically.
Oh, good. Okay, good. So you can put a little note there so you know where that sentence is. That's a good one to start with. Yep. And Malia, you might have to think about yours because you need to still work on your body paragraphs. And then we can go on to where it says background here. Actually, for my attention getter, I'll say something like this. I'll say poisonous animals. And you could write this down, Malia, if you want to, if you like this idea, are dangerous. That's a VSS because there's 4 words there. Poisonous animals are dangerous. And then there's background. Background is, and there's a little paragraph up here, tell your reader what the subject of the composition is about by making a general statement about the subject. Remember, your subject is poisonous animals, okay? Then provide background information you think would be interesting or important. The background information should flow into the introduction of the topics. You can say something to introduce it, like a general statement just means something like, there are many poisonous animals in the world. You can say something like that. You can copy this or do your own sentence. I might say instead of poisonous, since I just said poisonous, I might put instead of poisonous, I could put toxic. There are many toxic animals, or I might even say creatures instead of animals, since I already said animals. Changing my mind here. There are many toxic creatures in the world. And I might say something like, some live in the ocean and some live on land. So that's an example of a background. You're kind of giving some generic or simple information about the whole subject, which is poisonous animals. So that would be a good way to start your paragraph. You might play with that when you go to type it and make sure you put in some dress ups in there. Dangerous is a good adjective, quality adjective. Live is a good strong verb. So you got a couple of things there, but you might be able to play with it and come up with others as well. And then here you go again, topic A, topic B, topic C. Now this is the first time your reader is going to see these topics. So you're going to give some general information about these topics, like the barracuda is topic A. So go ahead and put in barracuda, put a box around it. And we know that the barracuda is a fish. I remember seeing in one of the articles, they called it a fearsome. I thought that was a cool word, fearsome fish. I might start by saying something like that. Fearsome is like, it creates fear in people when they see it because they're kind of creepy, right? You could even use the word creepy or scary or something like that if you want. Fearsome is just another way to say that. And then topic B, remember, was polar bear. So go ahead and put down polar bear in a box. Blank, blank. You could say something like polar bears. You could use like huge white to describe it, or you could say something about how they live in cold places, freezing places, because polar bears do not live in California. It's too warm here, even though we think it's cold sometimes. It's not cold enough for a polar bear. They need like extreme cold. You could even say extreme cold, something like that. Topic C is the one that you guys picked, and then 2 words to go with that. So you're going to introduce the third topic, whatever poisonous animal you picked, and think of a way to introduce that in that sentence. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that. You may not be able to fill in all of this right now, but give me a thumbs up if you have as much filled in as you need for now when you're ready. You got it, Elizabeth? You're still thinking? Not yet? Okay. You need some help thinking of something?
Yeah,
Which one are you on?
my topic C.
Oh, topic C. Okay. And you're going to write about the spur-winged geese. You might have to fill that in later since you haven't read about them yet. So I would just leave that blank for now. Yeah, it's going to be hard to fill it in when you don't know about them yet. How about you, Malia? Did you fill in some of this? I know you're not going to be able to fill in all of it yet, but did you get some of it?
No, just the what you put for the barracuda.
Okay. You can leave those blank until you finish those paragraphs and then fill them in later, okay? All right. So your homework this week is to write 2 more paragraphs. So you're going to catch up on the 3 body paragraphs, and then you're going to write the introduction and the conclusion using this paper. So you'll turn in 5 paragraphs altogether. And remember, for the introduction and the conclusion, you're only highlighting your animals that you're going to be that your body paragraphs are about. Okay, so you're only going to highlight the animals for the introduction and the conclusion part. So I'd like to move on to the next lesson to get ready for next week. So do you have any other questions about this paper, about the poisonous animals? No? Okay. I know you got a lot of work to do. You got this. We only have 3 more classes left, and then we're done for the school year. It's crazy how we're at the end now. I know it's going by so fast. So try to catch up if you can soon because we want to end on one last paper. So you're going to finish this one, and then we have one more paper, and that's it. And then you're done. So you're really close. Okay. So keep all this. I want you guys to put this in your front pocket. And then I want you to get out the next lesson. This is your last paper. Put week 19 in your pocket because I know both of you are still working on that. So keep it in your front pocket. And then I want you to get out week 20, which is called Venomous Beasts. And this is your final paper. This is the last one you're going to do. And I know we didn't quite finish the entire binder, but that's okay. You guys know enough now to move on to the next level if your parents want you to do the next level with me. Okay. The next level is going to be a US history class, which is pretty cool. I like that class if you do that next year. Talking about the United States. Like cool. Okay, so this one goes in your front pocket. And venomous beasts. And then you also need a piece of white paper. You can use a big one or you can use a small one if you like the small one better. There's big pieces in the back of your binder or a small one from your printer. Okay, so we're going to move on to this next one here. Get it set up for next week. All right, thumbs up if you got week 20 out and a piece of white paper. Okay, do you have a big piece or a small piece? Hold up the piece that you have for your white paper. Which one did you guys get? The small one? Yeah, okay, I'll use the small one with you. Just means you have to write a little bit smaller, but you guys are good at that, so. Let's set up the white page first. So you know what to do. Fold it this direction first, like taco fold. This way. Oh, you already got it, Lizzie. Good job. I know you both know how to fold it. So go ahead and do that. Fold it. Make those 6 boxes. Good. Nice, Malia. All right. Let's go ahead and start by setting up. This is for your first body paragraph of this one. We're not going to write the paragraph yet, but we're going to get the outline ready for you. Okay, so put A in the first box here, and we're starting with Roman numeral 2 because it's your first body paragraph. And then again, we're going to do 1 through, I think we did 4 last time, and 4 is optional. Let me double check on that. Sometimes they want you to put more. Yeah. Yep, that's correct. And then B here in the middle, same thing. It's Roman numeral 2, and then 1 through 4. 4 is optional. C. And then fused. Roman numeral 2, and this is going to be 1 through 6. And 6 is optional. Okay, and then we're going to write that word clincher here. And then under C, possible topics. Now, this is where this particular assignment is about venomous beasts. Now, we already learned about poisonous animals. Well, venom is also poison. So we're going to learn about some other animals that have venom, and venom is a liquid. It's a poison, like in the rattlesnake, it's a poison that they have in their fangs, right? So if you get bit or an animal gets bit by a rattlesnake, the poison goes into the animal and they get either really sick or they could die. So these are more poisonous animals, but they have venom. It's interesting. Okay, so there are a lot of possible topics here, and we're going to get through this so we can get it all set up for you to begin working on this next week. So it's going to be kind of quick here. So I need you guys to, wait, where's my paper? Oh, I buried it. Go to page 187. No, I'm just kidding. Not that one. It is 178, 179 actually. I got it. 179. This one. Page 179. It's got a little solenodon. That's what that is. It kind of looks like a little rat. They're furry like that, but their nose is turned up. They look kind of funny. This is Article A. So make sure you put an A here because we got to get super organized when we do research like this. This is research, but it's all in our binders, so we don't have to, we will be looking up some things online, but for now we're going to see what they give us in the binder here. That first paragraph, this article is called, what should I eat that? The first paragraph is about this solenodon, is how you say it, solenodon. So go ahead and circle that word. It's the second word in the first paragraph. I don't have time to read the whole paragraph yet. You're going to do that for part of your homework. But this whole page is about this guy right here, this little solenodon, okay? And then I want you to turn it over to the back side There's more. This is page 180. The solenodon keeps going all the way to here. Whoops, hold on. Oh, no. Sorry, go back to the front. I'm messing up here. Go back to the front. Sorry about that. There is a new paragraph down here. See where it says some people eat snails? That's kind of gross. That is a different animal. So if you go down to the very bottom of the page, do you see where it says marbled cone snail? At the very bottom of the page, circle that. Marbled cone snail. So we have two paragraphs here. I thought it was just one, but this one's about solenodon. And then this one's about the marbled cone snail. Weird, huh? Now go to the back and go down to the next paragraph here and you see the picture. This is a platypus. Have you guys heard about a platypus before? Yeah. Circle that word platypus. Did you know they have venom? Oh, you did. That's good. You know a lot about animals. It's really cool, Elizabeth. That's about the platypus. And that one is also venomous. And then there's another part to Article A. Look for page 181. Here's another part. This keeps going. It's a lot to read. This one keeps going. And the next paragraph here on page 181 is about the octopus. They are also venomous. Thumbs up if you circled all those animals. Good. Got it, Elizabeth? All right, we're going to start writing them down. You're going to have to write kind of small here because it's a long list, okay? The first one was solenodon. And that was in A. So we'll put an A next to solenodon. Next one was marbled cone snail. That was also in A. I'll zoom in so you guys can see that better. Whoa, that was too far. The next one was platypus. That was in A. And then octopus. Whoops. And that one was also in A. All right, so those are the possible topics so far in A. So let me zoom out again. Give me a thumbs up if you wrote those down. Awesome, good. Got it? Okay, good. Now go on to Article B. We're going to do this kind of quick just to get it set up. And then next week we'll get started on this paper. Article B is on page 183. This one. Potent venom. This is B. What do you think this first paragraph is about? What poisonous, what venomous animal is this one about? Go ahead, Malia, what do you think?
Rattlesnakes?
Yes, it's right here. So circle rattlesnakes. That whole paragraph is about the rattlesnakes. And then flip it over to the back. And Lizzie, what is the next paragraph? What animal is the next one talking about?
Scorpion.
Yes, the scorpion, circle scorpion. And then Malia, what about the next paragraph? It starts down here next to this picture.
Sea snakes?
Yep, the sea snake. You got it. I know, these are creepy. I don't like snakes or scorpions. All right, and then there's a little bit more. If you go to page 185, the article keeps going. This paragraph is talking about the sea snake still. And then what about the next one, Lizzie? What's the next one about?
Platypus.
The platypus. Yep. All right, so now we got to write those down. So the next one is rattlesnake. That's in B. Make sure you put B next to it because we're looking at B now, okay? And then it was scorpion. And that one was in B. Sea snake. That was in B. And then the platypus we already have. So I'm going to put a comma and a B next to platypus there. Zoom in a little. So right here, platypus, I put A comma B because it was in both. And then rattlesnake B, scorpion B, sea snakes B. Okay. Got to find C now. Go on to the third article, and it is called Venomous Beasts. It is also 2 pages long, so we'll look at all that. What about the first paragraph, Malia? In this one is 187. What do you think the first paragraph is mostly about? This is 187 here. It's a lot of papers to keep track of, huh? I know. Hopefully you put away week 19 so you're not mixing those up. Hopefully they're already in your front pocket. It's hard to stay organized. You're looking for page 187. Find it? She's still looking.
No, I looked through all of my papers.
Oh
I don't know if I missed one.
no. Uh-oh. Maybe it's still in your binder.
It might be.
This one's going to be C, so you can go ahead and put that on there.
Maybe A.
If it helps you guys to staple these together later, that's okay with me. If you want to staple all the articles together, because it is a lot and it's hard to keep track of them all. Or paper clip them. That would work too. So while you're looking, I'm going to have Lizzie tell me, what do you think this paragraph is mostly about on C?
Rattlesnakes.
Good. Rattlesnakes, you could circle that. How about the next one, Lizzie?
Scorpions.
Scorpions. So it's easy to spot now. You know what to look for. Flip over to the back. Ooh. Peeping me out, man. What is that?
The thigh zebra tarantula.
The Thai zebra tarantula. I just got goosebumps. Okay, the last one's cute. At least we can end on a good note, right? This is page 189. This is the next part of that. So what's the last one, Lizzie?
Dog.
Hedgehog. And they're so cute. It looks like he's kind of mad right there. They look like they're soft and fluffy, like you could just like snuggle with them, but it's probably not a good idea. And did you know they have poison in their little spines? They're like a porcupine.
I only thought that they just spike you, but I research, and they do have venom in their spikes.
Yeah, in their spines. It's interesting. You're going to learn about these interesting creatures here, but did you ever find the paper, Amelia? Oh no, you're gonna have to look for it later, okay? So for C, we had rattlesnake. So you're just gonna do comma, and you could write this down, Malia, even though you don't have the paper. Hopefully you can find it later. Scorpions, C. And then we had, this was a new one, Thai. That's from Thailand, you know, Thai. Zebra. Tarantula. That's in C. And then the last one was hedgehog. And that one was also in C. I told you it was going to be a lot. It's a lot. Okay, so this is where I'm going to have you guys start this keyword outline, but you're not going to write any paragraphs yet. Okay, you're just going to start this, but you get to pick what animal you want to start with. So look at your choices there. Solenodon, marbled cone snail, platypus, octopus, rattlesnake, scorpion, snake, sea snake, Thai zebra, tarantula, and hedgehog. Now, we're going to eventually pick 3 animals, but you're just going to start with 1. Okay, I know you know some things about these, but you don't know what the articles say yet. But do either of you know which animal you want to start with? Which one do you want to start with, Lizzie?
Solenodon?
Wait, oh, the solenodon? Okay, so copy that word solenodon next to Roman numeral 2 on A, B, C, and fused, okay? Copy that word solenodon. How about you, Malia? Which one are you going to pick?
I think I want to do the scorpion or the platypus.
Okay, so once you decide which one, how about the platypus? I think that would be a good one to start with. How about you start with that? So go ahead and write platypus, 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 platypus next to all the Roman numeral 2s, okay? Okay, and for the fused, after you write solenodon here, do a blank blank. On the A, B, and C Roman numeral 2, you don't need to put 3 words. You can just put the name of the animal. Now for yours, Lizzie, you only have A from your binder. So you'll use the article A from the binder for A, and then you're going to look up online, check with your mom first, but you're going to look up online 2 more sources. So you would type in Google solenodon for kids. Remember, make sure to put for kids next to it so that it makes your search so much easier. Okay, so you're going to look up for kids for B, and then so it might be something like National Geographic, and maybe C is Britannica or something like that. You guys know how to research. Okay, so you're going to find 2 different websites and fill in B and C, and you're fused. So that's all you're doing for this. You don't have to write the paragraph yet because you're going to write the introduction and conclusion of your other paper. So finish that first and then finish this side. And you don't have to write about this yet. We're going to wait on that. Does that make sense to you guys? Good. So Malia, since you picked platypus, you're going to have article A and article B because it's in A and B, but you don't have C here. So you would type in Google platypus for kids, type it in, find a website, ask your parent first if you can search online, let them know what you're doing, and then you're going to find 3 more facts or 4 to put here for C. So I'm just going to have you guys fill in A, B, C, and fused, but you don't have to write a paragraph yet. Okay, we're just getting it ready for next week. But you do have to write your introduction and your conclusion about the poisonous animals. All right, so any questions about your homework this week? You're good? Okay, good. Let me know if you get confused between now and next week. You can have your mom text me. Okay, that's the quickest way to get a hold of me. They can email me, but I don't check my email as often as my phone. Okay, so if you have questions in between, reach out to me. I'll see you on Thursday, Lizzie. I think we switched your time on Thursday to 2:30. Normally we meet at 2:15, but I think we're meeting at 2:30 on that day. Okay. All right, you guys, that's it for today. Good job. And that's a lot. You got this. Keep all your stuff together. Okay. You can paper clip it or staple it together. Keep it all together. All right. Bye. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, Malia. Bye, Lizzie.